Well, firstly, I'd like to issue an apology for being so tardy with the release of my videos, but I've been so extremely busy recently. And while I'm normally leaning out of my boat window, I'm leaning out of my car window because tonight, well, I'm at Arlington train station, and then when I'm not at Arlington train station, I'm at Elstree and Boreham Wood, or Scratchwood Services, or Northampton, Leicester, East Midlands Parkway, Sheffield, Chesterfield, you name it, I'm here, there and everywhere. But I'm leaning out of this window, but very shortly I'll be leaning out of this window, because it's not even the morning after the night before. It's sort of the morning after the morning before. Now it's the morning after the same morning. I know what I mean. Anyway, I think it's time for a title sequence. Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the gentle life. I live on board with Levi and Diesel, my dogs, and of course my beautiful wife, aboard a 58-foot narrowboat manufactured in Huddersfield in 2001. It's an exciting time, and 2024 means that we've been on board now for almost 10 years. Giving up bricks and mortar as we did for a fresh start and a new life on the water. And do we ever look back? Well, no we don't. Because we lead a far more simpler lifestyle, inspired by the waterways and our great heritage. And so, we welcome you all aboard as I go for a walk and explore this gentle life further. Come along. And with all that being said, it's only appropriate to let you know that the video will start in the dark, but don't worry, things will brighten up as inevitably they do in life. But it will be a special video because I have a very special guest with some very useful information. Check it out. Well, it's early in November and just before bonfire night, and it's the middle point of my night shift. And with me taking a break around about midnight 30, I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a look at the Navi here in Barrow-on-Soar. Literally a minute's ride away from Sileby train station, the affectionately named the Navi, also known as the Navigation Inn, is every bit as impressive as I thought it was going to be. The Navigation is set on the off towpath side of the River Soar section of the Grand Union Canal. Amazing even in its nighttime surroundings. I will be looking into this a little bit more in future videos, and with that being said, we're back down here at Kegworth Shallow Lock at 4 o'clock in the morning, or just a little bit after, and it's great to see the flood lock is open again. And the recently distressed boat back in October that was partially sunk down here seems to have been refloated. However, there's the possibility I could be wrong. Would somebody let me know in the comment down below? Thank you. Now here's some unashamable advertisement for the channel. Subscribing, liking, sharing and hitting the bell for notifications of future videos as they arrive on the channel is absolutely free. So liking and subscribing will give you a notification as soon as a video drops on my channel. More importantly, and because I drop my videos at random, liking and subscribing assures that you get to see my latest videos. So what are you waiting for? And before you proceed, hit those buttons now. You know it makes sense and it really helps my channel grow. It's the only way you're going to get more of the gentle life. And now it's on with the show. Judging by the balance beam behind me, you'll assume obviously that I'm back at Thermost Lock. Along the angry Soar, and you'll notice also that things have returned to normal, which is great. One thing's for sure, because this is upriver, it's going to be a lot calmer down there. Let's go and see. So there's the breakwater, a lot calmer. Far less water coming through now, but just look at this. I mean, this is just some of it. Look at this that's dragged down, all this detritus, plastic. Look at that. Oh, wow, look at all those bottles there, look, for example. That's all been washed down from the recent floods. So you see all this green material, this vegetation. This is what's been breaking off, and it's been clogging up the culverts and the soakaways, preventing water to disperse a lot faster. But it's all good now. So from Route 1's QR code, just over your phone using the camera app, it'll download that map for you. And if you are doing the Leicester Ring and you find yourself moored here at some point, Watermead Park really does offer nice walks, nature observation posts, and at many points of Watermead Park it also ties into the towpath, so you can find yourself back down to your boat quite conveniently. But take a look at this footbridge, possibly where people share memories and reflect on a loved one. You can see here why this fauna is such a problem. It breaks off and it clogs up the sluices just there. So with all the real bad weather and flooding now abated, it seems to be business as usual down here at Thermost Lock. Let's go and have a look at Sileby, see what's happening over there. In conclusion, here at Thermoston, there are no current or recent warnings of floods at this location. That is of week 1 of November 2024. So here I am back down at Lock 49. Come to have a look, Sileby. It's a lot calmer than it was the last time I was here. You can actually see that now. I should say that, you can see that. And the towpath is clear, look. There's no water on there. The ground looks a lot firmer. I'm going to go and have a look, check it out. But it's nice to see things sort of getting back to normal. You know, the River Soar is very unforgiving when it starts raining. It only has to rain a little bit and it just goes straight into flood. It's quite remarkable. Just look at that stone plinth. I wonder how old that is. So I was just talking to Darren from Floating Along, a few words with him in a minute. Thought he had a problem with his boat, but it's all good. It's just something that happens. Things come along in life, and but as fellow boaters, we help each other sort those things out. And the main thing, the thing that we do best as boaters, is we talk to one another. Think about that. So this section of the Soar has seen the water levels go up and down quite aggressively. I followed this up with a fellow boater. Look at this gorgeous boat. And this is Darren from Floating Along. So I'm with Darren, and we've just been talking about the water levels and how they've been rising down here. And we were just talking about Pillings Lock.
Pillings Lock, yeah, the monitoring station.
So there's a monitoring station. Darren, would you like to explain how that works?
Yep, as a lot of boaters do, swapping information. A boat came past and he said if you go onto the YouGov website, onto the Pillings Lock monitoring station, it gives you it in graph form and literally hourly updates as to where it is normally and where you are currently, whether you're above or below the normal river level.
There you go, thank you very much. Useful information. See you next time, Darren. Nice chatting with you. Okay, all right, mate, all the best. Take care, and you. And remember to check out Floating Along's channel from the link in the description down below. With thanks to Darren, there's also great information available on the Canal and River Trust's website. Link in the description down below. Also in the description, check out River Levels UK. So in conclusion then, not as angry as it has been, improving all the time, but some of the boaters down here, the constant cruisers, can't wait to get going again. But with stoppages further down, that's preventing boaters like Floating Along, Darren there, from being able to leave his spot. He may have to go back up the River Soar once it's navigable again and go up onto the Trent and Mersey, and hopefully at some point cruise peacefully on the canal. Well, it's a couple of days later and I've nipped up to Mount Sorrel after my night shift to have a look around Lock 50 and see what's happening up here. The scene is the Waterside Inn at Lock 50 at Mount Sorrel, and doesn't this look picturesque? And again, levels down here seem pretty normal. There are a few sandbags around, some of the footings of some of the properties, but other than that it seems very benign. The weather seems very benign and it's set to stay like this for possibly the next 2 weeks here in November 2024. Whether that's a good thing, it has been an horrendous year for rain, but with little or no precipitation anticipated for many weeks to come, water levels remain consistent, and that's a good thing. Well, it will allow many boaters to get to their winter moorings before bad weather sets in once again. Mount Sorrel. And in my last video when I covered the flood at Sileby, I gave mention to the River Soar trail. Well, you can take that up here from Mount Sorrel to Barrow upon Soar. Follow the river as it meanders through the Soar Valley. This out and back route can be walked from either Mount Sorrel or Barrow. The towpath can be muddy in places and is not suitable for family cycling. Simply join the towpath from Sileby Road. Close to Mount Sorrel Lock, as you've just seen, follow the towpath keeping to the river on your left, crossing to the other side when required. On reaching Barrow upon Soar, continue past the navigation inn and Barrow boating, where a range of canoes, boats and hydro bikes can be hired by the hour. Continue beyond Barrow Lock until you reach Barrow Road and the boathouse. Stop for refreshments or retrace your steps to return to Mount Sorrel. I'm always going to get excited when I go to Nottingham. After all, it is my birthplace. But Nigel, I hear you ask, where are you tonight? Well, I'm not 100 miles away from Games Workshop, right next to Lenton South Junction and the scene of the River Leen, once the mighty Nottingham Canal. Lenton South Junction runs very close, almost kisses Castle Marina, not just a stone's throw away from its namesake, Nottingham Castle. And finally, I had to come and see it for myself, a section of the old towpath and what would have been left of the chamber of Lock 3. It's also interesting to note that this would have been an humpback bridge, which was sometime changed in the 1920s. Repurposing the abutments with the existing brickwork, the lock below remained in excellent repair until the mid-1950s. Since the early 1980s, much of the Nottingham Canal has now been built over. There will be a dedicated video on my channel at some point in the near future. More updates coming soon. Well, just catching up with the Eclectic Traveller's latest video is just dropped on the Redford Canal, covering issues like the government turning around and saying there's no more money for the canals. I'm a little bit dubious about that one, given the great work that's been done on there so far. But with that being said, it has been difficult for me to get my videos out just recently. I've been extremely busy. I've been covering quite a lot of ground geographically between places like Nottingham, Sheffield, Chesterfield, Leicester, Bedford, Leagrave, Arlington, Scratchwood. Where else have I been? Cricklewood. The list is endless. So I'm going to try and get up to speed. Like I said in previous videos, I've got about 4 or 5 videos in the works, but it's just editing them and getting them out. That seems to be the biggest problem for me at the moment. But thank you very much for watching this video. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you did this with your favourite narrowboating channel, like the Eclectic Traveller, I'm sure that they would appreciate it just as much as I do. Thanks very much for watching. See you all again in my next video. Thank you.